Hi, my name is Andrew Garcia, and I am continuing to work on the DOED virtual reality project with our mentor, Dr. Ting Zhang. This presentation will talk about lighting in Unreal Engine 5. Lighting in Unreal Engine 5 is important for developers. Improved lighting settings allows for beautiful looking virtual environments. It also adds a new level of atmosphere to environments. So on the image to the left, as you can see, it's an example of bad lighting. So there's poorly created shadows and other aspects that make it a bad example. And then the image to the right is an example of good lighting. As you can see, it's an image of a realistic city setting, and some of the light and the reflections in the shadows look very detailed and very realistic. So the lighting setup for the environment. So setting up our environment, the first thing that I did is I deleted the sky light initially. And delete sky sphere afterwards in project settings. And I deleted something called light mass importance volume. And the result was a dark environment that's unsuitable for exploration. So you can only see some of the objects that have a little bit of illumination, like the cubes and the sphere, the outline of those shapes. And for the environment light mixer, under the window tabs, ensure that environment light mixer is turned on by checking it. This mixer is a highly underused tool, according to a YouTuber and tutorial speaker but named Gediminas. And the environment light mixer menu, create skylight, and then create atmospheric light. And then this is the result. There's light and the objects have a little bit of illumination. And then there's shadows and stuff like that. The next thing that I did was I created volumetric clouds. So click on the button that says create volumetric clouds, and then create height fog, and then the result is clouds. So the environment doesn't look as plain or bland or dull. There's a little bit of life brought into it now. So that's pretty interesting. So quickly add to the project. Under quickly add to the project menu, select post-process volume. In its settings for unbound, change exposure compensation to 0.5 and to darken the scene just a little bit. I did this for the purpose of, as I mentioned, to darken the scene because it was too bright. And for lens flares, set intensity to 0 to prevent interference with perception. So the global illumination settings can be changed. So lumen scene view distance could be set to 1,000, and max trace distance could be set to 1,000 as well. Each number representing 1 meter, so it's 1,000 meters in this case. And this is the result. Now for rendering, disable support hardware ray tracing to eliminate performance issues, because my computer cannot handle these advanced lighting features. So I have to tone them down a little bit, or maybe even remove them entirely so that the refresh rates, the frame rates are very consistent. So without those settings enabled, the frame rate is about 45 frames per second. And it depends on the computer used as well. So more powerful computers will run higher frame rates because they're able to handle these intense settings. And this is the result. And etc. So more illumination settings can be changed. There are lots of illumination settings for Unreal Engine 5. Numerical values from 0 to 1,000 can be accepted for some settings. And once again, depending on the computer used, it could be helpful to disable or lower some of the illumination settings to allow for higher frame rates at the cost of sacrificing visuals. So higher frame rates, and then the quality looks very blurry and not as beautiful, because it's kind of the trade-off. And that's the end of my presentation. Thank you so much for listening.